FFLC Podcast.
All right, here in Brooklyn, New York, chatting with Randy Brown. He takes on Belal Muhammad in the featured FS1 prelim this Saturday night at UFC 208. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
So I want to start with this. I was at the open workout today. Anderson Silva got in the ring, and he pulled out the jump rope. Started jumping around, and I gotta say, it was a lot better than I could ever do. But like we discussed in Albany, I asked you point blank at the scrum, are you the best jump roper in the UFC? And you said, most definitely. So how does it feel to have that edge over the likes of a legend like Anderson Silva?
I don't know. Maybe that's probably the only thing I got over. You know, I just saw him, man. Anderson Silva, man, he's amazing. He can do it all, man. He can do it all. It's unbelievable, you know. But one thing when it comes to the rope, you know, that's my game.
That's your game.
But I just saw Anderson, actually. Got a picture with him. I got to meet him for the first time. Spoke to him, you know, and his energy, man, just the energy, his aura that he carries is unbelievable and big inspiration of mine, you know, for years now, you know. So just being able to just see him and talk to him and get some words of advice, you know, and encouragement, you know, stepping into the octagon on Saturday. Yeah, that was cool.
It's got kind of a contagious kind of aura about him, like it's a very like infectious smile and energy, like you just said. Is that just, you know, especially with the weight cut, seeing Anderson Silva and hanging around with him for a couple of minutes, did that kind of just make you feel a little bit better?
Oh, absolutely, man. Just meeting him and just his energy, like I said, his energy is crazy, you know. When he walks around, he has this energy about him, you know. He has this positive light around him, you know. So kind of lifts your spirits. So that was cool.
So we talked literally before I hit record, we were talking about wondering whether this fight was going to happen. As everyone knows, George Sullivan was the guy, and there's another incident with USADA, an alleged violation there. So we were wondering whether or not you're going to be on the card. We're looking at the calendar. We're like, all right, another day. We don't have an opponent. Luckily, Belal Muhammad answers the call, and you get the fight in Brooklyn like you wanted to. So was it frustrating for you over the last month or so trying to figure this out, or did you believe that at some point this would all get worked out?
There was a point where I felt like I wasn't gonna fight. You know, it was a little frustrating, but you know, it worked out. You know, I didn't really give it too much thought. I stayed in camp and I stayed ready, and I just kept preparing, doing what we had to do. So it was kind of frustrating, but other than that, I just stayed ready for whoever came out the gate.
You and Belal, you're two guys that fans and media alike see a lot of potential in this division. You guys are trying to break through that mold there, climb that ladder in this division. I'm not trying to ask a jerk question here or insult George Sullivan at all, but as far as where the folks see you guys, people are excited about this fight, you're getting the FS1 featured prelim spot. Is Belal the better opponent for you at this point in your career than George would have been, in your opinion?
I don't know. Everything happens for a reason, you know. To me, like, I see all the welterweights are tough. You know, they all have similar styles. You know, they all hard-nosed coming forward. You know, he's a hard-nosed guy. George's a hard-nosed guy. So, for me, I don't really think about it too much. I don't know. You know, it's just like, he's good, George is good. They're both tough guys. And either way, I'm looking to get a W.
Like you just said, Belal, very tough guy. He definitely can't jump rope as well as you can, but he had a lot of hype coming out of Titan FC. He came in, had a really fantastic effort to Alan Jouban. He lost that fight, got the finish in Hidalgo, Texas. 205 didn't go very well for him, but since this fight was booked on pretty quick notice, how familiar are you with Belal's game, and have you been impressed with him so far?
Yeah, he's a tough dude. He's a tough dude, you know. I'm not impressed by him, but you know, he's a tough dude. They're all tough, man. They all the same. It's gonna be a good night.
You had that setback last April to Mike Graves, but you bounced back in a big way, had a couple of finishes. I was cage side for the fight against Camozzi in Albany, and I thought it was the best you've looked inside the octagon. I think a lot of people would agree with me. And you hear in other sports, when teams go on these runs, like in college football, Clemson lost to Pitt, and then they come back and they win a national championship. People say, you know, sometimes you need to get a loss to kind of get back on track. It kind of rattles your brain a little bit and gets you on this right track. Did having that first loss 10 months ago, did it kind of have that same effect on you? Did you learn enough in that fight and you're just like, I know what I need to do and now I'm ready to roll?
Absolutely, absolutely. Someone asked me that same question yesterday, and the biggest thing I've took away from that is, like I said, everything happens for a reason, right? And the biggest thing I took away from that is decision making, in and outside the cage. You have to make the right decisions. Certain things you don't, it's fight IQ. In the fight, you don't do certain things, and especially depending on who you're fighting and their style, some things you just don't do. And you know better, but you do anyway. Thinking you can get away, maybe I can get away with it, but it catches up with you. And in that fight, I made 2 big mistakes, and they caught up with me, and I paid for them, and then it cost me the fight. So I've learned a big thing about decision making.
If I remember correctly, you're not really a prediction guy. You're not really a guy that calls the round or anything like that. But I guess I'll put it like this: if you could pinpoint one thing that will be the difference on Saturday night for you to get your hand raised, what would you think that would be?
Accuracy.
And jump roping. So there's 2 things.
Jump roping comes with feet. Timing, so good footwork, fast feet.
You had that fight in Albany in December. It was the second event in New York since the sport got legalized on a professional level, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was on a smaller scale, and now this is Brooklyn. This is the Barclays Center. What is fighting on this card in that building in this city? What does that mean to you?
Oh, this is huge. This means everything to me. This is like my backyard. You know what I mean? We got all the Caribbeans here. We got everybody, man. My family from Queens. I got family in Brooklyn. Everybody. My whole team is coming down. There's going to be people at the weigh-in screaming for me, So this means a lot, man. I actually spoke about this in my debut at the press conference. At the press conference, my debut, somebody asked me, how do I feel knowing that, MMA is finally coming to New York, and everything. And then that's in the works. I was like, it was cool and all. They were like, they got having the first card at MSG. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I specifically said I would love to fight on the Barclays Center a year ago in January. And here I am.
Wow.
Doing it,
So. Is it like surreal when you kind of think back on that and now we're here? Is like how surreal is that for you?
Well, surreal. I don't think it's surreal. It's just like, wow, it's happening. You know what I mean? Because surreal is kind of like I didn't really believe, but you know what I mean? I'm a guy that I plan things and I see things and I speak them into existence and I believe in myself and I believe everything that I'm gonna do and accomplish. I believe it from the beginning. So. I'm not surprised, man. I'm not, this is like, everything is unfolding. I've worked for it. My whole team, we work for it. We work to get here. So, step by step. You
mentioned your team, and when we talked in Albany, Andre Harrison had a fight coming up just after you. Mm-hmm. And now we're talking right this second, and Andre Harrison has another fight coming up. He's fighting for another championship in WSO. Things seem, like you said, to be really clicking for you guys. Like, what's the atmosphere like in your gym right now?
In the dojo, it's busy all the time. A lot of people don't know. Me and Andre are not from the same school, the same home school. Andre's from Belmore. I train at Belmore sometimes. I'm from Budokan martial arts. Andre trains at Budokan with me sometimes. So but we're always like, we live together, brothers. So it's just like always going. But it's fast, man. It's fast. The pace is fast. They're just grinding everyone's putting in work. Everyone's constantly going hard in the dojo and in gyms. Is just grinding. We're grinding. That's what the atmosphere is. It's like the atmosphere is it's just grind. You walk in and you smell grind. Everybody's grinding.
I know you got to get ready. Busy day tomorrow. Weigh-ins tomorrow morning, and then the other weigh-in tomorrow night, and the fights on Saturday. So, what's the message here for the fans, your friends, the family, Belal Muhammad? What's the message you want to give to everybody heading in this fight on Saturday night to your birthplace in Springfield, Massachusetts, where I live about 30 minutes from? What do you want to say to everybody to get them all fired up for this big moment and a big stage for you?
I just want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the support from the beginning of my career. Thank you for supporting me all the way up to the UFC, and we got a long way to go. So tune in. This is just the beginning. It's going to be a good time, and expect fireworks and great things from me.
Did I see you posted the commercial?
Yeah, that was cool.
Was that cool to see that?
Yeah, that was dope. Somebody sent that to me. I was like, yo. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That was like, we working. That's what we're working for. We're working to come up. And get next step is headliners. We want headliners, and we want big fights. Big money fights, and we want to take it to the top. So.
Well, I was going to wrap it there, but you just said something I have to follow up on. You're talking about getting the bigger fight, the big money fight. If you get the win, Do you got a name in mind? You have something to say in the microphone, or you're just gonna just keep going the same way?
I need to enjoy this moment. I need to enjoy this moment. You know, this is New York. You know, I need to talk to New York. I need to talk to Brooklyn. I need to talk to all my people, man. And I just want to get on the mic and just I want to talk to them for a sec. You know, so I have nobody to call out right now, but I need to just enjoy the moment. After this win, I need some time too, man. I've been boom, 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 boom. I need some time to just relax. I'm like basically on weight already, you know, because I stayed in fight camp, you know, pretty much. It was like boom. I fought Saturday, Sunday. I knew who I was fighting. You know,
gotta be ready.
Training, you know.
All right, man. Well, thank you for the time. We'll see you Saturday night. Best of luck to you, and thank you for doing this.
Yes, sir. No, anytime.